Does the richest country in the world actually make its residents rich? My name is Sevrin Lindstrand, and this is my presentation on GDP, Monaco, and how the numbers can often lie. When people talk about the richest places on Earth, Monaco almost always comes up. By GDP per capita, it looks insanely wealthy. When you watch F1 races, it looks extremely wealthy. But today I'm going to show why GDP gives a distorted picture of the typical resident's standard of living in Monaco, and why economists, and us students, need to be careful with this metric. GDP measures the total value of final goods and services produced within a country over a year. Economists use it because it's standardized, measurable, and allows comparison across countries. But it was never designed to measure how well people are actually living. GDP works reasonably well when countries are large, diversified, and have similar population structures. Problems arise when those assumptions break down, and Monaco is a perfect example of this. Monaco has one of the highest GDPs per capita in the world. At first glance, that suggests the average person in Monaco is incredibly wealthy. But GDP per capita assumes that production is closely tied to residence, and in Monaco, that assumption fails. A large share of Monaco's GDP is produced by workers who don't live there. Thousands commute in daily from France and Italy, generate income inside Monaco, and then take that income home. GDP counts the production, but those earnings don't reflect the living standard of Monaco residents. A more informative comparison would be median disposable income per resident, adjusted for purchasing power. Unlike GDP, median income focuses on the typical person rather than total production. In Monaco, GDP per capita is inflated by commuters and corporate profits, while the median resident faces extreme housing costs and a cost of living that GDP doesn't capture. GDP also rises with luxury real estate sales and financial transactions. But those don't improve access to housing for the typical resident. In fact, higher property prices increase GDP while actively making living conditions worse for many people. GDP captures economic activity, but it misses who benefits from that activity. In Monaco, that gap is especially large. Monaco has the most expensive real estate in the world. Monaco shows why GDP is useful for comparing economies, but dangerous if we use it to judge how people live. When production is driven by commuters, capital income, and luxury markets, GDP per capita can dramatically overstate the well-being of the typical resident. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Sevrin Lindstrand.